Ambassador Kethvar adjusted his crystalline throat resonators, producing what passed for laughter among the Zeridian nobility. Around the gleaming conference chamber of the Galactic Trade Consortium, similar sounds of amusement rippled through the assembled delegates. At the far end of the obsidian table sat the human delegation, 3 unremarkable bipeds in simple dark clothing, their faces betraying no emotion as the mockery washed over them. "Forgive us," Kethvar said, his translator rendering his harmonic speech into standard galactic. "But surely the Consortium Council jests, these primitives, as negotiators for the Terran mining rights. The Kepler system contains the richest viridium deposits in 3 sectors. This requires actual diplomats." High Counselor Zix Thera of the Vegan Collective fluttered her forearms dismissively. "The humans have been spacefaring for what, 2 centuries? My species mastered interstellar commerce when their ancestors were still discovering fire. Perhaps they should observe while the adults conduct business." The Manthari delegate, Overlord Gex, clicked his mandibles in agreement. His species had built the first galactic trade routes over 10,000 years ago. Indeed, their homeworld isn't even civilized enough for our atmospheric processors. What could inhabitants of such a rustic environment possibly understand about sophisticated negotiation? Ambassador Sarah Chen, leader of the human delegation, remained motionless. Her companions, Dr. Marcus Webb and Captain Elena Vasquez, showed equal composure. They had heard variations of this speech on dozens of worlds, from hundreds of species who viewed humanity as galactic newcomers, barely worthy of acknowledgement. "Perhaps," Chen said quietly, her voice cutting through the chamber's acoustics with unexpected clarity, "we should begin with the standard protocols. I assume everyone has reviewed the geological surveys." Kethvar's resonators produced another burst of harmonic laughter. "Protocols? Child, we wrote the protocols. The Zeridian commercial empire has extracted resources from over 4,000 worlds. We'll be handling the operational details. Your species can have a modest percentage for discovery rights." 15%, added Zix Thera. "Quite generous for primitives." 10, corrected Overlord Gex. "And they should be grateful." Chen nodded slowly, then opened her data pad. "I see. And what's your timeline for extraction?" "Standard galactic practice," Kethvar said. 40-year development cycle, followed by 2-century extraction period. Efficient and proven." "Interesting," Chen said. She glanced at her companions, who remained silent. "Dr. Webb, what was the estimated viable extraction period for the Kepler deposits?" Dr. Webb, a quiet man with graying hair, consulted his own device. "Based on our deep core analysis, approximately 800 years of sustained mining at maximum efficiency." The alien delegates exchanged glances. 800 years was significantly longer than their estimates suggested. "Impossible," Kethvar declared. "Our geological assessments are the finest in the galaxy." "I'm sure they are," Chen agreed. "However, our analysis included some unique methodologies. Captain Vasquez, would you explain our extraction proposal?" Captain Vasquez, who had remained silent throughout the mockery, finally spoke. Her voice carried the flat, professional tone of someone accustomed to life or death decisions. "We propose mining operations in the Kepler system's asteroid field simultaneously with the planetary deposits. Our preliminary surveys identified 17 asteroids with viridium concentrations exceeding planetary averages." The chamber fell silent. Asteroid mining in the Kepler system had been deemed impossible due to the system's unique gravitational anomalies and solar radiation levels. "Preposterous," Overlord Gex clicked. "The radiation alone would kill any mining crews within days." "Yes," Chen said simply. "It would kill your crews. Dr. Webb?" The scientist cleared his throat. "Human mining crews can operate in the Kepler asteroid field for up to 6 months with standard radiation shielding. Our crews have worked in environments that would be lethal to most galactic species within hours." Zix Thera's arms stopped fluttering. "Impossible. What manner of shielding do you possess?" "It's not the shielding," Chen explained patiently. It's the crews. Humans evolved on what you might call an extremely hostile world. Earth's radiation levels, gravity, atmospheric pressure, temperature variations, and chemical composition would be lethal to most galactic species. What you consider deadly working conditions we call Tuesday. The alien delegates shifted uncomfortably. They had dismissed Earth as a rustic world without bothering to research why no other species had attempted colonization there. Furthermore, Captain Vasquez continued, human mining crews can work in the system's gravity wells that your species cannot safely navigate. Our preliminary assessment suggests we can extract the entire Viridium deposit in 200 years, instead of your projected 800, with minimal environmental impact. Chen leaned forward slightly. Which brings us to our counter-proposal. Humanity will handle all extraction operations. We'll provide the specialized equipment, crews, and logistics necessary to work in conditions that would kill anyone else in this room. In exchange, we want 70%. The chamber erupted in outraged harmonics, clicks, and fluttering. Outrageous. Kethvar's resonators produced discordant sounds. 30%. Maximum. 50. Chen replied calmly. And we provide hazard training for any of your species who want to observe operations, assuming they can survive in environmental suits for more than a few hours. This is extortion. Zixthara's forearms waved, frantically. Chen's expression didn't change. This is economics. We're the only species present capable of extracting these resources efficiently. You need us far more than we need you. Dr. Webb added quietly. The consortium has been trying to develop Kepler system extraction for 60 years. Every attempt has failed due to environmental factors. Human crews established a preliminary mining station there last month. The silence stretched for long moments. Finally, Overlord Gex clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. You already began extraction? Preliminary operations, Captain Vasquez confirmed. We'll have full mining infrastructure operational within 6 months, with or without consortium partnership. Chen closed her datapad. Gentlemen, you've spent the last hour explaining why you're superior diplomats and negotiators, but you seem to have missed the fundamental principle of any negotiation, understanding what each party brings to the table. She stood slowly, her companions rising with her. You bring trade networks, processing facilities, and distribution channels. Valuable assets. We bring the ability to work in conditions that would kill you and extract resources you can't touch. The human delegation moved toward the chamber exit. At the doorway, Chen paused. Our offer stands at 50% for 72 hours. After that, we'll negotiate with the consortium's competitors. I understand the Altarian Federation has been quite interested in our recent mineral surveys. As the doors closed behind the humans, the remaining delegates sat in stunned silence. Kethvar's resonators produced a low, uncertain harmonic. Perhaps, he said finally, we should reconsider our assumptions about Deathworld inhabitants. 3 days later, the Galactic Trade Consortium signed the most profitable mining contract in its history, and learned that sometimes the best diplomats are those who don't need to negotiate from weakness. After all, when you're the only species capable of doing the job, the conversation tends to be rather short.